The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Dr Amna and welcome to the Health and Fitness Show on Inspire FM. The time is 6 p.m, it's Thursday the 1st of December 2022, and for the next hour we'll be focusing on your health and fitness. Now today is a bit of a different show because we've pre-recorded with some excellent guests. We have Haroon Mota from Muslim Runners and Muslim Hikers that you may have seen on the BBC recently. We also have Naushin Hossain, who is a local GP like me, who has been on the show before with Revolution and was one of the ladies who ran the marathon with us this year. And in the second half of the show, we also have Reshape from Reshape Gym, letting you know if you think that actually right now it's a bit too much to think about hiking up a mountain or climbing the marathon, what things you can do right here in Luton. And give you something to think about maybe just before the new start of the new year and everyone's standard every year, new me. So let's get started and meet our first guest. Assalamu alaikum, Haroon. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and why you set up Muslim Hikers?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Great to be here. Thanks for inviting us. I'm the founder of Active Inclusion Network, and we have some successful projects like Muslim Hikers, which is very popular for the Muslim community, getting people outdoors, and also Muslim Runners. I've been running for about 10 years.
Wow.
And hiking for nearly 20 years now. And I'm based in Coventry, a city which is very diverse, similar to Luton. And I found it so strange when I used to adventure into the countryside, how few people there were of ethnic minority and how few people, Muslims in particular, were engaging in these activities. So from that experience of the lack of our people being in the outdoors, I felt like I wanted to be part of some type of solution that would bring greater diversity and inclusion in the outdoors. And for many years, I was involved in charity work, fundraising, mainly hiking. I ended up hiking in the Himalayas, climbing Kilimanjaro, hiking mountains in the south of America, and all whilst fundraising for causes, but bringing people together from our communities to fundraise. And
because our communities are very good with hiking for fundraising. I remember when I was at uni, it was you have to do Snowdon, any kind of charity week. It was Muslims climbing Snowdon and raising money.
I'm glad you said that, because you know what? We're so good at helping other people, but not good at helping ourselves.
Yeah.
And tell people to get outside for well-being just for the sake of it for themselves. And they'll be like, no, why? But tell them to do it to fundraise for a cause in the third world, and they'll say yes. And I think that's part of the culture that I'm trying to change.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about me and what I do. I've quit my work in fundraising, my full-time job in fundraising, to develop community initiatives. And one of them community initiatives is a project called Muslim Hikers, which has rapidly grown to become the largest community in the world for Muslims who are interested in the outdoors. And that has happened very much by accident. I set up the Muslim Hikers page on Instagram in September 2020 during the pandemic, purely for the purpose of creating online community, to share positive vibes, to tackle loneliness and isolation. And that page received so much recognition and appreciation, not just here in the UK, but globally.
Wow.
And it is what it is today, and it is what you've seen it to be, because you've attended some of our events yourself. So maybe I should interview you now. Tell me about Muslim Hikers and what it was like for you.
Well, I mean, it was an amazing experience. I joined because a couple of our local girls who we've had on the show before, who ran the marathon with you, with myself, with thousands of other people earlier this year, had been and had had such a good experience. And I had done the kind of standard climb Snowdon for charity, and it was difficult and it was rainy. And I just thought, why do people do this? Like, I wouldn't want to do it. But actually, there was so much good feedback, and it was such a nice group. I ended up going by myself that day. I hadn't planned to, but it was just me, and I never felt like I was alone. Like, I think I really struggled kind of going up there because, again, the weather was, pretty horrible. But it was great. Everyone was so supportive. Everyone was so happy. It was such a good experience to kind of just being around like-minded people in a really great environment, and then getting to a goal and then just having fun. And I don't think I'd done that before with such a large group of Muslims. And I think that's what really made it special.
I think so many people actually feedback in the same way, that it's so special just being amongst people who are of a similar background and community. Yeah. We just had a hike on Sunday in the Peak District for 200 people. We had a girl travel from Denmark to join us, and she was saying the same thing, that, back home, she doesn't have a culture which is so inclusive and diverse. Yeah. And when she heard about our walk, she traveled from Denmark to join. She had the best time ever.
Amazing. That must be a record. Do you have a record of how far people have gone? I know I met somebody who'd come from Scotland, and I was like, wow, that's pretty far.
We've now had, it seems to be the girls that do all the traveling. We've had a girl travel. You are. We've had a girl travel from Sweden.
Wow.
We've had a girl travel from Denmark, like I just mentioned. We had two sisters who traveled all the way from New York.
Wow.
Yeah. This was just last month. They came to me at the end of the walk and said, Haroon, we're Sahara and Sarah from New York. I was like, you what? Like, from where?
But you know what? I think also it's important because females, unless a lot of us kind of growing up, we were always told, you need to take your brother, or when you get married, your husband, and all of those things. And I really struggled with that as somebody kind of who got married a couple of years ago. I thought, well, actually, I want to do all of these things. And, what if I never get married? Or what if I get married when I'm 40 years old? Am I going to wait to do all of these things? And as much as we can kind of say, yes, be independent, blah, 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 I would never think about hiking in the middle of nowhere, something I've never done before, by myself. But knowing that you're in that community and kind of you feel safer with Muslims around you, other, single girls that support you, you're more able to do it.
Absolutely. I think that is reflected by the fact that we have about 70% female participation in all of our walks. And that's a pattern that has been there from the start. And we talk about barriers for South Asian communities or barriers for Muslim communities in general. These barriers, whether cultural or community barriers, these are amplified for women for the reasons you said. And whether it's safety and security, or whether it's attitude and mentality and confidence, they're all linked. And the fact that we promote safety in numbers, in non-judgmental environment, we allow people to, thrive and come and be happy. And it's great to see that brotherhood and sisterhood, being good reasons for people getting together and taking care of their well-being.
Yeah.
And I think during the pandemic, we saw very evidently how important the outdoors was becoming for the purpose of well-being, and particularly for mental health. And it's important that we don't forget about the outdoors now that we can go all the time. It tends to be that, something gets taken away, our freedom gets taken away, like it was in the pandemic. So everyone wanted to get outside, but that needs to continue. The outdoors is there, free, and it's for everyone. And that's something that I'm very passionate about in terms of encouraging people to get outside more, to take care of their well-being.
Yeah. And actually, you can do all of these things in this country, really not that far away from, where most people live, because you do it all over the country. It's not just in one specific bit. We did one in Box Hill in Surrey, Sussex, Surrey.
Yep, Surrey Hills, yeah.
There we go, Surrey Hills, that was it. So really not that far away from London. And I thought that was a really good experience because it's not, you don't have to travel 4 hours, 6 hours to go somewhere, which some people think, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, our walks take place every single month, at least once a month, and we walk in various different national parks and areas of outstanding beauty. And yes, more of them tend to be in sort of central and northern England because there's
But
more
we
national
are going to
parks.
work on, because there are areas of outstanding national beauty in and around Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. So watch this
Absolutely.
space. We are going to work together and find something more local for all our listeners.
Inshallah, definitely. We need people to check out Muslim hikers online on socials and our website. Stay connected, whether you're staying connected to sign up to events or whether it's staying connected to feel part of the community or just to be inspired by, good content. We're always sharing case studies, films, videos, and all sorts, just to try and normalize the outdoors for our communities.
Yeah, and you've been on the news a lot and on the BBC a few days ago now with the show. So can you tell us a little bit about the kind of response that people have had?
Yeah, so we've been on BBC, I think, a couple of times in the last month. Firstly, it was for BBC Countryfile. We were on the Green Space Dark Skies light show. So that was a couple of weeks ago. That was a fantastic contribution for a light show. Unfortunately, we received quite a bit of racist abuse online as a result of that, and that's been documented in the media. But most recently, just a few days ago, in fact, I had my own documentary called My Walking Family, aired on BBC One. It is available on iPlayer now. So go check that out. It's labeled as part of the series We Are England. So that's about
We'll
me.
put it all in the post as well on Instagram.
Yeah. So that's about me and my family and following our journey as a family and how we're trying to overcome the barriers to get outside more. So the cameras follow my sisters, my mum a little bit. They come into our home and we just talk about our journey in the outdoors and about Muslim hikers. And it also follows us up Scafell Pike. I think Scafell Pike was the first hike you did with us for Muslim hikers. So yeah, if you want to see Dr. Amna on TV, go check out.
In the rain, like a drowned rat, but still smiling. Hopefully, one of the bits that I was still smiling and not a bit that I was just drowned wet.
Day was so incredibly wet. Like I've been, in the mountains so many times, and you always remember some of your most wettest days. And that was one of them. It's actually like, when they talk about raining sideways, that day was.
I think it's me. I think I'm bad luck because last year I did Love Luton. And that was apparently, people who have run marathons and lots of things have said that was the wettest run that they have ever done. And it was kind of that kind of weather. It was just awful. But still at the end of it, I still thought, well, this is great. I love it. Maybe half an hour afterwards, I think immediately afterwards, I was just really cold. But as soon as you kind of settle down, you're like, I achieved that. I did that. And what a great day. And I came back and I did it again.
Alhamdulillah. And I think it's about, just getting outside, finding your own sense of accomplishment, whether it's for reaching a summit or whether it's just for braving the conditions. And you'll see some of that in the documentary. So yeah, do check that out.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. It was really, really lovely to speak to you. And so I think that was your kind of inspirational message, really, wasn't it? Just get out there.
I think my message is to really take care of our well-being. Often we get so busy, so distracted with work, family, and all the stresses of life. Sometimes we just need to slow down. Yeah. We need to stop. We need to reflect. And sometimes going outside helps us do all of that.
Yeah. Definitely.
So get outside, enjoy a bit of fresh air, take a deep breath. Going outside doesn't necessarily mean, going to a national park. It could mean, going to a local urban green space or even just stepping into your back garden if you have one and just stop, breathe some fresh air.
I think it's just stopping. I think it's just taking that moment to stop and move from being inside in something man-made to just kind of nature.
Yeah. And, sometimes even just walking down your street at home, for people who drive, like, do you even remember what it feels like to walk down your own street? And sometimes you ask people, God, when was the last time I walked down my street? Like, you can't remember. Like, sometimes do that. Go walk down your own street. Remember who your neighbors are. Or just sit on a bench, just watch people. I love doing that. And sometimes you need to be outside more just to remind yourself of how blessed we are and, forget about the stresses
Yeah.
And sometimes that's great for your well-being. So yeah, my message, get outside more, be active, and try and be healthier and happier, inshallah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, inshallah. Yeah, that's a really positive message. I'm actually going to try that. Because I think when I was kind of training for the marathon, that's the only time I leave my house and I walk, because I do like a little walk before I start running. But apart from that, I just get in my car because my car's on my drive. And actually, I wonder how many people listening also do that. And just that small change, just walking to the end of your road and back, and just having that time to breathe and just look around you.
Yeah.
Wow. See, so, listeners, if that's something, if you want to take one step forward today, maybe it's not going straight away to hike, although you might want to, and we'll link all the Instagram page for Muslim hikers and Muslim runners, if you want to be inspired by people who run as well. And I hear there's Muslim cyclists as well.
We do have a Muslim cyclist page as well. It's just about creating community and making sure that people that carry these hobbies don't feel alone. And that's the feedback we've had from people who discover our page. They say, wow, I thought I was the only Muslim who enjoyed hiking, but now I see thousands and thousands of people who share hobbies like mine, and it just normalizes that activity and it makes people feel good. So that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today. And inshallah, we'll see you on a hike, and maybe with some of our listeners. If you're coming, let us know, and let Haroon know as well, inshallah.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Naushin. Thank you for joining us.
Walaikum assalam, Amna. You're most welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So as we've just had, we've just been speaking to Haroon from Muslim Hikers. So, and you were the one who got me introduced to Muslim hikers and Muslim runners and everything else. So why don't you tell us your story about how you got involved?
Yeah, sure. So I went to Palestine before COVID, and I was very lucky to actually visit refugee camps in Ramallah and distribute aid there. And we were working with Penny Appeal. So when we came back to the UK, obviously I had to visit the Palestine Expo in London. And at that time I met Haroon at the Penny Appeal store, who was the head of challenges there. So, I mean, at that time, I also wanted to take to mountain climbing, but none of my friends would join me. They would say, "Oh, it's not my thing," or "I'm too busy," etc. So when you have that inclination or that wish for something, somehow you know, the Instagram and the Google overlords, they read your mind, and they send they send you things about hiking. So I used to see adverts about, the challenges Penny Appeal had to Ben Nevis and Snowdon and Machu Picchu and Kilimanjaro. And I would just wish that I wish I could join these events, but nobody would join me. So I met Haroon and I told him, look, I'm interested. I've been seeing your ads, but I'm on my own. He said, don't worry, I've taken a group of women to Everest Base Camp. You can come to South America, Machu Picchu, and you can see the background there. So
wow, okay. And that was your first hike?
That was my first hike. So
wow.
It was, I think it was 15,000 feet.
Wow.
It's a lot of people. The thing is that, but when I signed up to that hike, I had to attend training days with Penny Appeal, Ben Nevis and Kinder Scout and Mount Snowdon. So
okay, so you had to do smaller ones first to kind of prepare you.
Yeah, so there were training days that were arranged.
Okay, I see.
I didn't have to do extra fundraising for them. So although I wished I used to dream about attending these smaller hikes, I got to sign up for the bigger one, and then the smaller ones just fell into place. So that was first involvement with hiking and meeting Haroon.
Wow! So that's a really big commitment to kind of go from nothing and to having such a big goal, mashallah. And that's just what we were just talking about in terms of lots of people wanting to do these things, but not knowing who to go with. And that, Muslim hikers and Muslim runners allows us the space as women, as Muslim women, to be able to do these things, which is amazing. And how many hikes have you done since?
How many hikes have I done since?
Yeah.
I've lost count, honestly. I've lost count. The biggest one was Machu Picchu. And then I did the 3 highest peaks in the UK and Scotland and Wales. So Kinder Scout, Ben Nevis, Mount Snowdon, and Scaffold Pike. I've done these 3, and I've done many small ones since.
Wow, amazing, mashallah. And what would you say to somebody who, is listening to this and thinking, well, actually, maybe I want to do it, but they're a little bit scared or apprehensive?
Well, perhaps ask them, what is it that's making them scared? Is it the novelty of the whole thing? It's something that they haven't done before? Are they worried about what equipment to take, etc.? If that's the case, then don't worry. We have to start from somewhere. What I would say, sign up for the next hike. With Muslim hikers, they have the Mamtar hike on Christmas Day, and they have hikes throughout the year as well. So sign up. You will get information about what to take. And if you're on your own, so for example, if you're a single woman, then don't worry, because you'll be you'll make new friends on the way. It's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we were just talking about in terms of the having that community is great as kind of single women. And I think you touched on a really good point in terms of preparation and knowing what to take, and going with an experienced group. They tell you exactly these are the things that you need to take, and I really would follow that really well, because if they say you need waterproofs, then you definitely need waterproofs.
Yeah, I remember that the first when I signed up with Penny Appeal, I was at Mountain Warehouse, and I didn't know what to buy, and I was calling Taxima, who was helping the girls there. I was calling her from Mountain Warehouse, asking her what's a water bladder, what do I take, which waterproof, which socks. But that was my very first one, and now it's like getting up in the morning, putting your shoes on and going for a hike. It's not a problem.
Wow, amazing. And obviously we know you've been on the show before, that then led you to doing the marathon this year. Mashallah. Do you have any other kind of next goals in terms of sports or fitness?
Yeah, sure. So I want to do the 6 major marathons, marathon majors, they call it. So I've run London, I want to do it again, and then Berlin, Boston, New York, Chicago, and Tokyo. So that's my next aim, inshallah. Praying for it.
Wow, inshallah, that's amazing. And what about kind of smaller goals? So those are kind of maybe more, I would say, lifetime goals. But what about in between? How do you keep motivated to get yourself kind of go up and going, or what things do you do locally?
So I try to go for my runs every week. When I do the marathon, you have to be consistent, because I don't know if you've read the book called Atomic Habits. So small habits compound into big habits, right? So it's consistency, showing up for yourself every day, and eventually that leads to bigger things. So maybe have a big goal in mind, but you have to take those small steps to help you get to that big goal. You can't wake up in the morning. I mean, I wouldn't be able to just wake up in the morning and decide that, hey, I'm going to run the marathon the next day. So I have to start preparing from 4 months beforehand to make sure my nutrition is right. So a few things that we do. What's really helped is having a plan. So having a weekly plan that, okay, on Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, I'm going to go for my runs, and I'm going to run this much distance. So making sure that I have my clothes out the night before, my shoes out, plan my meals around it. So taking small steps.
Yeah, and you're right, actually, because I think we all talk about, how little time we have, and we're all busy, and we're all, doing things in our lives. But actually, there are 24 hours in a day. You're only sleeping for maybe 8 of them. My maths is let's do quick maths now. 18 hours left. And that's a lot of time, and how long does a run take? You only need to be out for 20 minutes, half an hour or so. And that's enough, isn't it? But it's what you prioritize, and maybe having it in a plan is a good idea.
Yeah, and also be a little bit mindful about how much commitment you take. That's a good idea. What you mentioned, that's an excellent idea, having a plan and prioritizing. But I would also say prioritize your headspace as well. Because I think in the West, what we do is that we pack every single hour of the day with things to do. And it's not only time management, it's mind management as well. So if you try to pack in too much, that you just even if you prioritize, right, then more things will get onto your plate, because people will find out that, hey, she gets things done, and they will give you more jobs to do.
It's you almost don't want to be too good at everything, because then you'll be expected to do everything. No, you're so right. And actually, I think we have to constantly remind ourselves of that, because I was just saying, being mindful and going outside and just kind of going for a walk, and then straight away I'm saying now, no, make a plan and be committed and fill all your time, and actually maybe a balance of in between both of those things is what we need.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. But you're also right, when you said that how long will a run take? So maybe maybe if like even if you do 5K, it will take 1 hour for most people. Even if you walk, it will take 1 hour. So maybe keep that 1 hour for yourself. That's your me time. And then once you do it, it's done. But also, maybe when you do long distance training, not take too much, not take on new projects or more responsibilities.
Yeah, it's prioritizing that kind of this experience as something in your life, isn't it? That you want to take forward. Excellent. Well, I mean, thank you so much for being with us today. I think those are really good kind of practical tips, and they fit in, with what we've been talking about just giving yourself that time and, just, I think, letting yourself enjoy it. And I think it's all well and good to have these big goals, but like you said, just turning up for yourself every single day is really important. Thank you so much, Naushin. After the break, inshallah, we will be joining Reshape Gym. So if you think actually all of these things that we've been talking about are, really great, but they're really far away and I just want something on my doorstep, then we'll be talking to one of the girls from Reshape Gym on Britannia Estates about maybe, if you want to join their gym or what things they have available in a women's only space. If you do want to join us, please do get in touch via Instagram or via WhatsApp on 0777 948 1822, and we'll be linking all of the things that we've talked about on the Instagram page as well. We'll see you in a few minutes, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Atif Nawaz. Listen to Inspire FM shows in your time by heading over to inspirefm.org or listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Any health advice given, whether general, diet, physical or spiritual, is general only and must be verified by your doctor. If you need medical advice, please consult a doctor.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Health and Fitness Show on Inspire FM. I'm Dr. Amna, and today we're focusing on new things that we can do for our health and fitness in preparation for the new year, inshallah. So I have with me today Bushra from Reshape Gym in Britannia Estates right here in Luton to talk to us about all the things that they have to offer and why it's important that you join a gym and possibly their gym with us in the new year. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Thank you for joining us. So tell us a little bit about Reshape for those who have not heard about it.
Okay, so we started 2 years ago and we've just been growing and growing, and it's become really popular amongst our community in Luton.
Yeah.
So, the ladies like to have a women-only space and to exercise, to not be judged, and to, improve their health.
Yeah. So it's a completely women-only space, your gym.
Yeah.
Okay. And why was that important? Obviously, we know, as hijabis, it's important, to have that space. But were there any other things? I know there's lots of places that offer kind of women-only classes. Why is your gym different?
Because no men come in here ever, unless it's out of hours to repair stuff. No man is allowed to come in. And it's really important because if you're in the middle of a workout and a man walks in, you don't want to be running and finding your hijab. You just want to relax and just be yourself and focus on, your workout.
Yeah. And that's really important, actually. You're right, because it's that kind of panic of, do you constantly have something near you that you can kind of wear and get dressed?
Yeah, it's not nice.
Yeah. Okay, great. So when are you guys open?
So we're open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. During the weekdays. And on the weekend, we're open from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m.
Okay, so that's quite a lot of hours, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, initially we started like 9 to 6, and the girls that are working, they were like, "Well, we finish work at 6, so you need to be open longer." So we just extended the hours, and it really works now. So more people are allowed, able to come with their busy schedules.
Yeah, I mean, well, I come at 6 o'clock sometimes, don't I? And there's actually quite a few people.
Yeah. I mean, you're here at 6. I'm here every day at 6 a.m. I work out, 4 times a week at 6 a.m. because everyone's got busy lives. So it's easier just to, I'll pray Fajr and then just start working out.
Yeah.
Look after your, Islam, worship Allah, and then you just start your workout, look after your body.
Yeah. And we're really lucky, aren't we, at the moment, because it's like perfect timing to wake up, pray Fajr, and then like get on with your day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, so what would you say for somebody who has, never been to a gym before? How would you introduce them to it?
Okay, so a lot of girls come in here and their main objective is to lose weight. And I would say there's a really big misconception that you just start doing cardio. And as soon as girls do cardio, they can't breathe, they're uncomfortable, they're, struggling, and they think, oh, exercise isn't for me. So what we do differently is we do strength training and then little bursts of cardio like skipping, and little hit training moves like jags, and just introduce a little bit of cardio and little bit of weight training.
Oh, so those are things already that you've said that I don't know. So could you talk to us a little bit more about kind of hit training and jags? I think that's what kind of scares me about the gym. I feel like people have this whole other language that I just don't understand, and I just think, oh, that's really, really not for me. But does it need to be that technical?
No, so high hit training is high intensity training, so over short bursts. So you could do hit training literally within 5 minutes.
Okay,
so
that's quite doable, I think, because I think that's also the other thing. I think if I sign up to a class, and we'll talk about classes in a minute, then that's a long commitment. That's like 45 minutes or an hour, but just start off with 5 minutes.
Yeah, just start off with 5 minutes, and even if your fitness level isn't that great, do 1 minute. Do 1 minute skip. Even if you don't come to the gym, skip for 1 minute and then maybe add 10 seconds the next day. Add 10 seconds. Keep improving on your cardiovascular strength, and this is how you're gonna improve.
Okay, and you said 4 times a week.
Well, I train 4 times a week. I do 4 times weight training and then 2 times cardio.
Oh, that's now gone up from 4 to 6 times a week.
Well, I enjoy the weight training side more, and I don't, we don't have big muscles or anything, but you just get stronger.
I think that's the thing that most women kind of feel or are scared of, like saying, oh, I don't want to get too muscly, I don't want to get too kind of man-like.
Yeah, like when you do strength training, it's functional movements that we do. So in everyday life, how people have, oh, my knees are hurting, my back's hurting, this is hurting. If you train the muscles around the joints, you're not going to get these injuries. You're just going to be more together, more solid, and less injuries. You have to prepare your body for life.
Yeah, I do always tell people that, when patients come and they say, my knee is hurt, or, when they're getting a little bit older, they're getting arthritis in the big joints. I always say, if the muscles around those joints are kind of stronger, you'll be more able to do things, but also cause less pain.
Yeah, less pain. And, like even on your day-to-day activities, you will feel like you have more energy and you're going to be up and go when you have to do something. You're not going to be like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. You just feel it's a feeling of strength
Yeah, I think it's increasing confidence as well because like
Yeah,
for me, I've always kind of felt like, oh, I'm just really weak. And you know, when I first started with you, I
yeah.
was really, well, I still am weak, but I am
No.
weak than I was.
I mean, if we look at your progress, how we monitor progress is how much load you can lift. Yeah. So
Yeah,
when we started, you did struggle, didn't we?
yeah.
And then slowly, like the pull-ups, for example, you
Mm,
can pull up assisted your body weight, whereas before it was a struggle.
mm. Yeah,
And you just keep increasing on that, just building.
and I feel like that's actually, you know, things that you use that. Like I feel a bit more confident to kind of just like pick up shopping or like go shopping if, you know,
Yeah,
if something's a little bit heavy. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I can carry it for like a few more minutes. Whereas
yeah.
before I'd always be like, oh no, it's too weak or I'm not going to be able to carry it. Uh,
Exactly. And one of the inspirational ladies that comes here, she's an older lady, but she um, she was waiting for her sons to move furniture around. And you know how boys take their time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she decided to get up and do it herself. And she said it was so easy. I can't believe, because
Mm-mm.
she does weight training and she's got stronger.
Yeah.
And, we're so proud of her. She's here all the time working out. And there's another auntie that comes here, and, she was depressed and didn't want to leave her house after COVID. And she
Mm.
started coming in and she lost 4 inches around her waist.
Wow.
And she feels happy. And I saw her walking in Borough Park. She's literally skipping.
Oh, mashallah.
And like she was skipping on the way to the gym in case she's late for the class. And I thought, you know what, this is what it's about. This is why we do it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's that whole kind of different body mind mindset, isn't it? When
Yeah,
you're doing something different, but also, you know, obviously all of this is about kind of exercise, increasing your kind of endorphins and making you feel better,
yeah,
and also generally fitter. So we
yeah,
know all of that. But I think it's also, you know, part of the routine and seeing your progress, you know, like
yes,
you just said. You know, I really struggled with because I'd never done any kind of formal, proper um kind of weight training. Um,
yeah.
but you still see the difference. And I
You
know,
do. Even a little bit, you start, it's not like you're going to come in here and you're going to be curling massive weights. Like, men sort of have all these pictures on social media of, weight training and muscles sticking out. It's not about that. It's about, small weights, like the weighted ball, for
mm,
example. We
mm,
have so many like different sizes, start from 5 kg. And then when that becomes easy, go up a little bit, go up a little bit. And then you just feel your body getting stronger and able to lift these
mm.
things with good form.
Yeah, I think that's important, isn't it? You mentioned good form. So
Yeah.
because a lot of people they don't know what to do. And I know certainly I was like, well, I don't want to injure myself. I don't want to try and lift something that's too heavy. So
Yeah.
what can people do if, you know, what's a good
Well,
introduction?
because we've always got an instructor at hand, and we're here. I'm here every morning. If somebody new comes in, we'll be showing them that, okay, what do you want to achieve? And look, let us watch you do your first couple of moves. I don't think there's any gym member that's come in and just thought, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. you
Mm,
know you have to have a goal, and you have to have like a program that you're going to be following and progressing. I
mm,
think this is where people stop doing it because they come for a week or two, and
mhm.
then they don't see the reason, they don't see why they're doing something.
Okay. I mean, is that just because of how progress kind of changes, or because I know anytime you just start something new, it will be hard and it will be painful, and it will probably be more painful. I've realized not the day before, it's 2 days after.
Yeah,
Not the day after, it's 2 days after. That's where I kind of really start to ache, isn't it?
yeah, it's
And
like pain is part of it, as a doctor, that when you work out the muscle, it's not just going to grow. It's going to be a little, growing pains with that muscle. And this is where nutrition comes in as well. So, when that muscle's growing, you need to give it the right nutrients. So protein is very, we push protein a lot, and you can get it so easily, like eggs, meat, fish, chicken, these sort of things.
Well, I mean, we've talked about breakfast, isn't it? Like when I finish, we're always talking about, okay, well, now I need to go have some eggs or something in the morning. I'm hoping you're going to take that on board, and soon you're going to start breakfast at the gym, and then I don't have to think about that. But you do protein shakes and things for during the day, don't you?
Yeah, we do protein shakes. Inshallah, that's the dream, that we have somebody come in if anyone's interested, starting up a, nutrition bar. I mean, we've got so many ladies in the community. They should come and speak to us about having like a bar or something with healthy foods, healthy meals.
Well, if anyone's listening to this and they think, oh, this is a good business opportunity, I'll tag Reshape Gym on our Instagram post on Inspire FM and at Dr. Amna GP, and please do contact them. And I think that would be great, to be honest. It will save me kind of finishing and being like, oh, now I need to find something,
Even like those Buddha bowls, if you had like chicken, salad, and maybe some sweet potato, and you just have it packaged in a fridge, and we have like in our classes, we have 30 girls coming out. And as soon as they leave, they probably have to drive through Borough Park and get chicken and chips because they're so hungry. But if they could, if they could pick up, a bowl, and that would be their dinner, that would be perfect.
I think it just kind of needs that discipline. I think every time when we kind of talk about exercise, I think the thing that worries most people is this kind of discipline, but I think for me, certainly, it's just kind of making that first step. I never tell people, you're going to start today and then you're going to change your life and everything will be different, but just taking kind of small steps. If you do manage to come down to the gym, a couple of times a week, and then just being consistent in that first, and then kind of adding little bits.
I mean, you just have to show up. Like, this is our USP, that ladies only gym, number one. There's always instructors here checking your form and helping anyone that walks in. And, we have that one-to-one connection with all our members. And it's just like a community vibe. There's not negativity.
It's really nice. It's really nice. Every time you go, you kind of see a familiar face with a smiling and kind of enjoying things. And I never kind of thought that exercise would be that kind of nice.
I mean, like, so many girls, like, if they're isolated, like literally I had a lady the other day, she came here from up north, she got married here, and she said, I've been here for 10 years and I've been by myself. I'm not part of the community. I feel isolated, and this is the first time I've spoken and made friends here.
Oh gosh. Well,
I mean, when you come here, you do make friends, you talk to each other, and you get a workout.
So you're ticking all of the boxes. It's not leaving your house at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you know what, so many posts, if people are on social media, so many people say that waking up early is so good for you. Like, you're so much more productive. You get so much done in not just gym, but when you leave the gym, you've got a spring in your step. You're more productive. Your brain's like, energized to do stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like we said at the beginning, there's a reason why we wake up to pray Fajr at that time.
And it's not actually recommended to go to sleep after Fajr either.
We should kind of start our day, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a bit hard in the summer, isn't it?
It is a bit hard, but again, it's just kind of having a different routine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, what would you say to somebody who maybe thinks actually, strength training is a bit too I'm maybe something I can work towards,
Yeah.
but I'm not quite ready for that. Is there anything low impact that you guys offer?
Okay, so body weight.
Okay.
Body weight is amazing. If you can move if you think strength training is a bit scary, do squat. Look in the mirror or sit against a wall with your feet like 2 steps forward, lean back, squat against a wall. This is the best way to check your technique that you're doing your squats right, and just hold it for say 30 seconds. If you can't do 30 seconds, do 20 seconds. This is going to build your muscle in your thighs.
Yeah. I think even just increasing, we did a challenge when we were thinking about running the marathon earlier this year. To do the plank, and I was not very good at it at all, and to be honest, I didn't really keep up with the challenge, but I know some of the other girls just kind of increased or just stayed at that same do it for 20 seconds or 30 seconds and then just hold it for a few days. Obviously, do it for 30 seconds and then tomorrow do another 30 seconds. Don't just hold it consistently for a few days. But and then you can surprise yourself at how much easier you find something.
Your muscles actually want to be doing stuff. They're actually bored of you just living. They're like, do something with me. Our bodies are so amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
So true. And this is why I'm kind of really focusing on these shows. Like, we're coming up to a new year, everyone, in some way, as much as people kind of hate the whole kind of new year, new me, but it is a new year, it is a new opportunity, and kind of mentally I think it's easier for us to take on change or consider change at kind of the new year. So we have 1 month until that. And this is the time to start thinking about doing things differently, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Even like, in the gym, everyone thinks if you've had a bad week, we always say, okay, Monday's a fresh day. Mondays are very popular. So, start at the beginning of the week and try, and because it's just don't give up. Keep trying. If you mess up a little bit, it's fine. Try again.
Yeah. I mean, I've stopped and started so many times this year. And when I've spoken about my marathon journey, I did not train anywhere near as much as I kind of wanted to or planned, but I think it was that kind of background strength, but also just lower impact things like Pilates and yoga and just stretching that you guys all really helped with. And I think that's what kind of got me through actually doing it on the day, because I just felt a lot more kind of flexible.
Amna, people have busy lives. Yeah, that's true. But you can fit in, it's excuses as well. But you can fit in an hour workout. Just come in and out. You've done your thing, and life does get in the way with you and your marathon training. There's life getting in the way, but you're still, doing something towards that goal. And look, mashallah, you ran it, which we're super, super impressed with.
Which I still can't believe.
Oh, mashallah. Yeah, it's amazing achievement.
Yeah. And I really do think, a lot of it was down to just kind of stretching and recovering. And that's important as well, isn't it?
Yeah, looking after yourself. Like, we really push like foam rolling and stretching and all these, because the body goes under a lot of stress, constantly carrying you around, your feet, your legs, your everything, your back. They get strained. So if you stretch, lengthen those ligaments, your body really thank you for it.
So what about if somebody's not been exposed to any of those things before? Do you do those kind of classes as well?
I would definitely say do like Pilates with Sema on Saturday morning at 10:30.
That's after the park run. Yeah, that's an excellent class. I do, after the park run, if anyone's thinking of joining park run, to come right after that and just walk down to the gym and to kind of wind down and then do Pilates for a good stretch.
Yeah, I mean, come and do it for free for the runners. Come and try it. Definitely come and try Sema's Pilates. Is so good for you, especially after running. These runners have to go through so much.
It is a lot. It's a lot of strain, isn't it? And we do have to remember to let our bodies recover and kind of make sure that you don't do yourself an injury by pushing yourself too far too fast, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like it's suitable for all levels, isn't it? It's just how much you do it, how you do it, and just watching and listening to your body is very important.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, okay, so that's lots and lots of different options. How do we find out about what the different options are and what runs at what time? So you've told us open from 6 o'clock on a weekday, 6 o'clock to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And then
the information's all on our website. If you type in Reshape.
What do you have? You just Reshape.
It's on Google. Just Google where it's it's everything's on there on our website. On our Instagram, we reply to messages instantly on our Instagram. So we can send you over a timetable. We offer first class free. You can do trial classes. Just come and check out and see if it is for you.
Excellent. No, inshallah, loads of ladies who are listening to this will come down to Reshape. I know there are lots of different options around Luton, and whichever one you choose, or even if you choose to work out at home, it's just about getting out and about or staying in, but doing something and keeping moving, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get in, if you can't get into the gym, definitely still message us, and we can send like a home program, something basic where you should start.
Yeah,
because
I think that's what
some people literally can't get out, and if they're carers or if they have really young children and no babysitters, they should still be do the plank, hold a squat, do something, start skipping. Everyone can skip. It's so easy.
Well,
it's not
you may not be able to skip. I keep trying to do all these fancy skips that I see on TikTok, but you can just do normal skipping I can do.
Yeah, but you've progressed so much in it. Like if you start with a certain time, start with 30 seconds, you're just going to see yourself increasing in cardiovascular strength. You're going to be more jumpy. You're going to everything's going to improve so fast.
Well, I think that's a good place to end on. Just start 30 seconds today, or plan your 30 seconds for the new year, inshallah, and that will be the start of your fitness journey. Bushra, thank you so much for joining us today, and all the details will be linked in the link on the post, inshallah. And inshallah, make your intention today to start the new year, or start from Monday, or start from today, to be focusing a little bit more on your health and fitness, inshallah. I've been Dr. Amna, and we'll see you again next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.